I think to answer the question, does God exist, it's best to first start with presenting a case for the historical life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Such an argument would show that Jesus is God, and that would tell you that God does exist, and would also tell you who God is, and it would also tell you that you are saved by the work of Jesus Christ alone. So I think all that's good. Just addressing the question, does God exist, and using arguments apart from the historical person of Jesus Christ would only lead a person to see that there is a God, but wouldn't tell that person who God actually is. All right, so I'd first start with arguing for Jesus Christ to be God in the flesh. That is how we know God exists, if that argument can hold up water. But then what will usually end up happening is that a person will still want to know more. Right? Okay, is there anything else that you got for me? In which case you can start throwing out all these other arguments for why God exists, apart from biblical evidence, and just see that as icing on the cake. And I think underneath a lot of these questions, even if you show a person that Jesus is God, they likely may have some other view of who God is that would keep them from or maybe keep them in this state of rejection or not wanting God. And namely, it's this sort of image here that you have in this cartoon, which God is all powerful and almighty and supposedly good, but all these bad things are happening. So it's almost as if God himself is hitting the smite key to cause all this stuff. And so this is a guided PowerPoint video. I got questions for you to answer as we go along. So, how many of you know a person that holds this view of God? And if so, is this one reason why so many people doubt in his existence or refuse to believe in such a God? And the question then of God allowing evil and suffering will be one that I will have to address later with another video, and then on through the class that we're taking right now. Here's a quote, C.S. Lewis, concerning God. I believe in Christianity as I believe that the sun has risen, not only because I see it, but because by it I see everything else. It's an interesting quote. Reflect on it, think about it, see your thoughts. All right, so from Without a Doubt, this is chapter 1, Does God Exist? How can anyone know if God exists? We have this quote that the God of the Bible provides a solid and consistent metaphysical foundation for explaining the important realities and phenomena in life in at least 9 specific ways. All right, so we're going to build a case for using 9 different reasons as to how the God of the Bible provides a solid and consistent metaphysical foundation for explaining the important realities and phenomena in life. Before you move on, look up the word metaphysical and metaphysics in a dictionary. I think it's good to see the way a dictionary would define these words. It helps us understand this quote. Likely for metaphysical, you found a definition very similar to this here. I think in this case, you see a lot of this is that it's abstract thoughts or subjects don't have causality or truth. It's concerned with first principles and ultimate grounds as being, time, or substance. So to plug that into the definition there, the God of the Bible provides a solid and consistent explanation for the being, time, or substance of the world. Metaphysics, it's a branch of philosophy that treats of first principles, includes ontology and cosmology, and is intimately connected with epistemology. Philosophy and its more abstruse branches and the underlying theoretical principles of a subject or field of inquiry. Here's a summary of all this. Branch of speculation, which deals with the first cause of things, which is pretty cool. It's what the God of the Bible somehow uniquely accounts for, the cause of what we see in the world today. Okay, so reason number 1, according to Kenneth Samples, is that God uniquely accounts for the physical universe's beginning. This reason is the lengthiest reason in his chapter, and Without a Doubt. And some questions to kind of guide you through how God uniquely accounts for the physical universe's beginning are: 1, what's the Big Bang Theory, and how can this theory support the existence of God? I know a lot of Christians try to avoid the Big Bang Theory at all costs because it's generally linked to a very old earth, very old universe, and a lot of biblical I guess you just say a lot of Christians believe in a very young earth, and so because of that would deny the Big Bang. And also because of that, the Big Bang is generally associated and linked with a view of Darwinian evolution, that life came about through natural causes. And so because of that, Christians tend to avoid it altogether. But really, if Christians can embrace key teaching of the Big Bang, it can show the existence of God. So I would say take a moment, look up online, see what the Big Bang Theory teaches about the universe and its origins and such, and how that can then be used to support the existence of God. Also, look up the law of entropy. What does this law teach? And how can this law support the existence of God? And again, you can read it in chapter 1, or you can look it up online, but please do that and fill in your notes what you found, and give a citation to the links that you used. In conclusion, you should be finding something along this line, and I'm not giving you the exact answers to how these support the existence of God. You do need to read and look that up. But in a conclusion to wrap up sort of these questions, whatever begins to exist has a cause for its coming into being. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe had a cause for its coming into being. That's the argument that can be built when we embrace what the Big Bang Theory and the law of entropy teach about the universe. And both of these are, the one's a law, so that's not deniable, and then the theory is very predominant. And the reason why I think we have to say this is a theory is because it's something that happened in the past and can't be observed and repeated through testability or scientific testability. Alright, so the idea again is that God best explains the universe's beginning. And can you come up with any other explanations? There are some alternative explanations besides God starting the universe, and that would be that the universe made itself. This is problematic. It's a self-contradictory statement. Because the universe, in order to make itself, had to exist before it existed. Therefore, the statement becomes invalid. Nothing can make itself in the sense of bringing itself into existence. It's just not going to happen. Another explanation is that the universe popped into existence from nothing. Something you should look up. What is the scientific enterprise and how is it based on causality? And so the idea is cause and effect, that effects need a cause, and that in rules it's looking at cause and effect, or reaction to things. And when we look at it in that sense, the effect can never be greater than the cause itself. And when we look at this explanation for the universe, that it came into existence from nothing, that instead of there being a God before the universe that created the universe, there was nothing before the universe, that leads into a big problem, because in cause and effect, what does nothing produce? What can come from nothing? Nothing. So in that sense, this is nonsensical to say that the universe popped into existence from nothing. Another alternative explanation: there are multiple universes, and that there is an eternal mechanism of physics that may actually pop universes into existence one after the other. And obviously, this is problematic because there's no proof. It's not directly observed in any way. It's only theoretical, and it doesn't truly explain the beginning. And so the idea here is that just as people begat people, and trees begat trees, and dogs begat dogs, maybe another universe came before our universe, so that the previous universe begat this universe, and then this can still link into the law of entropy, that some point in time before our universe dies, another universe will spring forth from it. And so essentially universes reproduce. And this doesn't explain the initial universe then. A final alternative explanation is that, which comes from Eastern religions, that the universe itself is eternal, and this of course doesn't match with what we know from science. And again, if you looked up with what you saw with the Big Bang Theory and the law of entropy, you should be able to counter this view that the universe itself is eternal. All right, and so Kenneth Samples in chapter 1 provides other reasons for the existence of God, and I've assigned you a specific reason to research and to look into, and you need to come to class, or you need to be ready to present and share what you learned about that reason and how the God of the Bible uniquely explains that aspect of reality. And you need to have a question or two prepared so that you can create some dialogue or discussion with your peers. All right, that's an introductory summary of the first reason for why we can trust that the God of the Bible explains what we see in existence today, and that's namely that the God of the Bible uniquely accounts for the universe's beginning.